right, 5-9 gamers, welcome back to another episode of the Dragon Ball Legends podcast. Today's episode 39, Hype Unbound. Before we started, as always, take a second, type !Linktree in the chat. Make sure to follow us on all our social media, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, OnlyFans, LinkedIn, I don't know, whatever else we have where Truth presents his toe pictures. And yeah, as you can already see, we have a big round of people here today. We are once again joined by the homie Goresh. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on? Happy to be back.
We are joined by our God Key and Hybrids main, Swift.
Yo, yo, what up, fam?
Don't forget the free-to-play God, Azdeek. How are you doing, man?
You're doing good, bro.
But there is no free-to-play legend or no free-to-play God without a free-to-play legend. We have the Truth. What's up, man?
Yeah. I'm a well-known free-to-play player expert. Truth. Yep. That's
Exactly. And we have the man who lost his shit on Tuesday, who was the most hyped, I think. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say. Prof, take it away. What's up?
Hello, everybody. Gohan is number one.
He does seem pretty good.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
All right, so today's topics are obviously the new banner, the new units, and we are going to talk about the fact that actually right now there are 4 banners that all include LF units. And we're going to discuss, but maybe we're going to do that a little bit earlier already, is LF Gohan, was he necessary the way he was? Is it good? Is it bad that he's this strong? First LF that seems to be able to compete with Zenkai units. But before we go into that, Truth, how do you feel about this Bojack Unbound step-up banner?
Okay. All right. So I actually see a lot of people talking about how they don't like it, the current format and stuff like that. But to me, like, as a whale, the biggest thing I love is that the ticket, that 5% like chance on the ticket feels pretty good to me. All the banners that have had that, Super Saiyan 4, Goku, now this one, I've Gogeta, right? I've pulled those LFs a lot off of those tickets, dude.
Yeah, I pulled Gohan a lot off the tickets.
Oh, you did as well? Okay.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Must be nice. I just pulled Piccolo off the tickets.
Oh, Truth needs more copies of him, so that's good.
Yeah, I 14 starred mine on this banner. It was a bit crazy, I have to say. But I got shafted. I went in like 50k before I got my first Gohan. 10 more K, no second Gohan. So I used multi-Z power for 3 stars. And that's where I am. My Trunks, my Princess Trunks is red 5. I think that says everything.
Well, I mean, I don't really have comments on the banner format, but all 3 LF Gohans and the new Trunks are all on one banner. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, so if you're a hybrid main, this is a very, very, very good banner to summon on.
Yeah, I think that's like every hybrid main's wet dream.
It's the completed team, and it's definitely a top tier team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you
sure.
you don't say. Okay.
I think
Oh yeah, just possibly, just possibly.
Yeah, I think it's the team right now, huh?
I mean, yeah. I'm biased, so I can't tell you guys. Yeah, I know this is the number 1 team right now. Go ahead and drop all your CC. Forget about your current main. This is it, right? I can't say that, but I should.
Well,
You could.
let me pose a question. Which team do you think's better right now? Hybrids or LOE?
Oh, LOE, definitely.
That's a toughie.
It's so tough because I'm thinking about the future LOE, right? 'Cause you guys are probably getting that Ultra Frieza next, right?
I mean, we have LF Freeze on the banner, so this completes that team, right? Yeah, the full team's on the banner.
Yeah. Oh, that LF Frieza won't leave me alone. Is that like what 0.25 and go on to 0.5? But nah,
Yeah.
I've got him down to 7-star, and I didn't even have him like ready. I just now.
I mean, you pull this LF Freeze, you're good to go with the LOE team. Just run him. That's it. That's your whole team. You're good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a big win right there, huh? But I mean, also
LOE
the fact
good.
that, I think we got 6 new units like 4 weeks ago, and now we got another 7, I think.
Yeah.
You know, we got like 3 Sparkings and 4 Extremes. I think that's
plus
pretty
the
crazy.
Ultra Vegeta, remember?
Oh yeah, but if we're just talking strictly about this banner, that's already, you know, they pretty much put more new units in this one banner than the 2 other banners combined, which I think is crazy.
On the previous podcast, I was predicting like they were going to do this because of the guild battle, right? They had to sell you a new LF unit, right? So they ended up making a banner with an entire EX team that, you know, some of them are bad, but a couple of them are really wicked good, right? And so this entire EX team, if you're going to summon for it, you know, nobody has EX multi-Z power. There's one way to get this team ready. It's an incentive for people to go absolutely ham during the guild battle.
True.
That's how I interpreted it.
Asdik, how do you feel about the banner?
Honestly, like, especially coming from like a free-to-play standpoint, I really do like it. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I only was able to go ahead and farm up like 10k CC, so I didn't go too deep on it. Of course, 10k is a lot for me. I know not for you guys, but for me it's a lot. And I was able to walk away with the 6-star trunks. I got my very first copy of the LF Future Gohan. I got Bojack. I got most of the EXs minus Gokua, and so I feel like honestly, like, you know, that's pretty damn good for me. I walked away extremely happy from that banner. I do want to toss a little bit more CC once I do get it farmed up, just for the potential chance to get that purple Gohan. But overall, like, I had a really good time with it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I know a lot of people do argue that, oh yeah, like these banners, they're trash. We don't get the free step and stuff like that. But I have to be real honest. Like, this banner treated me really, really well, and so I'm a little bit biased towards it at this point.
The one thing you have to remember with this banner too is the fact that there are 7 LFs on this banner. And if you want to compare these specifically to the Part 1 banners, those banners have the new LF plus 4 old ones. So in total, the new LF is 0.5, and then the old LFs are each 0.25. So in total, you have a 1.5% chance per summon to pull an LF. Whereas on this banner, because there's 6 old LFs, you have a 2% chance to pull an LF at any point. So there's actually a higher chance that you pull an LF on this banner than any other banner.
That is one thing I'd kind of noticed, is just because there's so many LF units, it's like there is a slightly higher chance to pull Gohan. But I saw a lot of people, including myself, where it's like you'd see the Legends Limited pop up and then you would just get like Beerus or something. So I think just because there's so many LFs on this banner, it almost makes it harder to pull Gohan. But I do like, I mean, overall I like the banner. It's not horrible, and obviously the increased rates on the tickets are always nice.
I mean,
Wait a minute, you said Beerus? Beerus is on the banner. Wow, I didn't realize.
Yeah,
that.
same
I
here.
only pulled him about 7 or 85 times.
Dude,
Dude, me too. He would not leave me alone.
I had a double LF
mean-
multi and it was 2 Beeruses. I think that gave me Dude, that gave me PTSD from the time, I think it was on Ultra Instinct Goku, where I summoned on 5-9 and Goresh and Rhyme were making fun of me for that shit.
Yeah, that was UI.
Jesus.
I remember that. Truth, how many red Gohans did you pull?
I actually pulled, it's 8 or 9. I pulled a lot of him.
15.
It's sickening.
Jeez.
I have yet to experience pulling an LF unit I've already finished, but I bet it's gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean-
feeling I've got to know very well.
I mean, I have 14-star Pickle and Goku on this banner, so if you know the new Gohan is the one you're going for, Piccolo I was happy about since I'm a region main. That Goku, Namek Goku, I didn't really care that much about him, so it wasn't fun, Prof. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, so I feel like we can actually move over to the unit that we've all been waiting for. And Prof, I'm just gonna give the floor to you. Go ham, talk about Gohan.
Okay, well, I won't go ham because we got. I'm sure there's a lot of opinions here, but I'll go over his kit really quick and why this unit is just so incredibly powerful. Obviously, you guys got to take everything I say with the fact that I'm a huge Gohan fan, right? So I'm gushing here. But this unit, even before he transforms, is really obnoxious to deal with because he constantly lowers ally and his own sub count. He's got a team heal, not for himself, but to the other 2 allies. And frankly, you don't really care about his own team heal because he's going to revive anyways, right? So he gives you 20% more effective ally HP. He gives you a permanent damage increase to the entire team, as well as some buffs to himself. But, you know, if you get one shot on this Gohan, it's not the end of the world if you can't use his first main ability. His second main ability, he's going to gain through his transformation, just a massive damage increase and penetration to sustain damage cut. I'm sure you guys have all seen clips and videos right now of Gohan just tearing through like every unit in the game. Combine that with his second ability, that every single time this guy uses an arts card, he gets like actual % damage increase. I feel very confident in saying, due to his utility and the fact that he pairs alongside the red LF Gohan, this is the most powerful unit in the game. People can disagree with me if they want, but I think if you're going tit for tat and you're assuming the same star count, this is the most powerful unit.
What do you guys think?
I mean, he is really incredible. I pulled him a few times, and I've been having a blast using him. I agree. Just the fact that, I mean, by himself, he is amazing, but the fact that you run him alongside FSK Gohan, and then you have the option for future Gohans, you have Revival and Endurance. I mean, Hybrids is in a really good spot right now. I don't know, in my opinion, I don't know if I would say this is like the hands down best unit in the game. I would definitely say it is the best non-Zenkai LF unit. Like, it is probably one of the better like new sparking units we've seen in a while. So I mean, he is amazing.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Even someone like coming from me, right? I don't go too deep into like the LS versus like Zenkai debate and stuff like that. I know a lot of people were waiting for like this unit, right? Basically to compete with all like the best Zenkais and stuff like that. I've seen this guy put in work like at 2 stars. I've been clapped by this guy even at 2 stars. And I've seen like a lot of people on social media, like especially like on TikToks, making fun of this guy, saying that his defenses are bad and stuff like that. Like, but that's just like at 2 stars. That's just like at a glance, you know, or even like against like type disadvantage. But you like just everything that he does, like his team overall, it's just absolutely like crazy. I absolutely dread going against this team, like especially going against the triple LF Gohan team. I don't even know if that's his optimal team or not, but going against that is very annoying, 100%.
Can we just appreciate the fact that you said TikTok?
Yes, follow us on TikTok, by the way, 59 Gaming.
Yeah, we do have a TikTok that is actually pretty funny. I think going back to this unit, I think the most underrated thing about him, and this also just plays into the whole revival aspect of what he can do. The one thing that separates, in my opinion, Red Cell from the Blue Revival Goku is Red Cell has a lot of sub-count manipulation. Whenever an enemy gets hit, he reduces his sub-count by 1, which makes it a lot easier for the Cell to eat a rush than the Blue Goku. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why Cell is just a much more efficient user of the revival mechanic than Blue Goku. It's very similar with this Gohan. This Gohan's green card is like probably one of the best green cards in the game. I'm talking about not even post-transformation, but pre-transformation. You can stack that sub-count reduction multiple times with the green card before he, switches out. I've had instances where this Gohan sub-count is less than 4 seconds when he switches out. And so it's like the enemy, may not realize that at some point, and, they just go for whatever. And they go for the rush or something like that, and they don't realize you can bring the Gohan in already, and he just eats the rush, and at that point, you pretty much just win. There's no real reason why you should lose the game after this Gohan eats a rush with his pre-transformed state. And that's just, I feel like his biggest asset is the sub-count reduction, because you talk about like the way to, this Gohan has terrible defenses. Well, one of the best ways to defend in this game is you vanish, right? It's like the only way to defend in this game. So the sub-count reduction, I feel like, is one of the bigger aspects of this unit that makes him as good as he is, and people don't really talk about that.
Well, he also does it on his blue card as well. He can lower the ally sub reduction. So
Yeah.
if you're playing this man with future Gohan, you can get back into red Gohan, cover with him, and then your future Gohan is ready. And as Garesh already said, your opponent's not expecting all these sub counts to have gone down. You can cover with red Gohan and utilize the full bulk of that monster, and you never have to worry about it because he's always covered by revival and endurance. It's just ridiculous.
Sounds like I need to actually
Yeah.
play this guy. Because I've only played him on the rush, and he is on the raid, and he is fantastic on the raid. Oh my god, the best unit of this raid. Okay, I'm gonna show myself out. But yeah, I was happy that I pulled him because I mean, it's a different topic, but on this raid, I think I've had double rising rushes with 2 Trunkses, which are boost units, not kill the boss. So I was happy to have Gohan with the 250% damage increase. But I haven't gone into PvP yet. So, what do you think is his best team, and what are the equips that you like using on him?
I would say, I haven't used him on movies yet, but I'm pretty confident his best team is hybrids, and the reason is because the equipment is the best on that team.
The triple exclamation point and stuff like this, like the flat damage stuff?
Yeah, all the flat boost equipment is just crazy good. Like that one, you have the one from the BoJack movie. I think that the one where it's him screaming or something. That one's
so
really
it's
good.
called Let's Go. That the BoJack one it's coming out here in a second.
Well, no, I'm talking about the one that exists right now. The one I think it's from the old BoJack event. It's the one where it's pure strike per hybrid, and then it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
That
it's
one's
just called
really good.
exclamation point,
The
exclamation
Pure
Yeah.
Striker Hybrid, and it's all you Gohan, which is the Pure Strike for Sun family. You stack the both
Yeah.
of those, and you can get 30% Pure Strike off those 2 items, and then the Awakened
Yep.
exclamation.
Yeah, that's the exact setup I was running. And the reason why you could do that Sun family equip is because if you just run the popular team with, Red Gohan, Future Gohan, and this Gohan, they're all Gohan, they're all Sun family, so it works.
So there's 2 items that I'm trying out right now. Oh, I want to try out. There's one that's not out, and there's the other one that I'm trying out, and I've gotten mixed results with it. I actually think I like the Pure Strike more as the I want to fight item. It's blast defense, strike defense. The middle slot is either special move or ultimate damage. You don't obviously care about this ultimate damage, but the special move damage goes up to 12.5, and then it has base HP on the last slot up to 12.5 again. The new item that is coming out with the Bojack event on Wednesday is special move damage 10%. So you stack both of these items together, you can probably, assume you get gold to red slot, about 20% damage increase on your blue card, while retaining, some HP that you're trading off. I feel like this unit is best used as a glass cannon, so I'm really tempted to just stick with the pure strike attack because my when I use this Gohan and I swap in on somebody and I get a confident combo, they're dead. But it's usually sealed with the blue card, right? So when this Bojack event drops, I'm going to be very interested to see how this Let's Go item pairs up on him.
Prof, I
did want to quickly ask you. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna ask him because he is like the hybrids expert right here. I just wanted to see. Okay, so you know that equipment, it's the Awakened Just You Wait androids, and it's up to on that slot 3. It's up to like 30% base strike attack. Would you say that equipment is worth grinding, or if I already have like pure strike attack items, should I use those instead, or do you think the base strike attack 30% is worth it?
I'm sorry, you have to jog my memories. With the Just You Strike Wait androids, what item is that for him?
It's the Awakened Just You Wait androids. It is.
I'm pretty sure that's a hybrid feature.
Oh,
item.
that's Hyper Saiyan's future. I am so.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, what is this man talking about? Yeah, I got 3 copies of that Z. No, that's fantastic for your future Gohan.
Okay, so that is a good one to grind for future Gohan. Okay.
Yeah, I'm using that one on my future Gohan LF.
Yeah, my apologies. I thought that was Hybrid Saiyans in general.
No, the only other one I'm considering right now is the Awakened You Can Do It Right Gohan, right? And the first slot on it is pure strike defense per Sun family. And then the slot 2 and 3 are base strike attack and blast attack by 18%. Although this Gohan brings 2 strike arts cards, you're probably pairing him with future Gohan. It's strike, right? You can really tilt heavy into strike. And then these other items that are unawakened, much easier to get. I think I'm almost certain the Sun family variant of it, the pure strike item is in the exchange shop right now, so you can just go grab it. And then I guess that one is tied to the Bojack event. I didn't know that. I was looking for it the other day. I just have several copies done. No, those items are much easier.
By the way, Prof, going off of the last podcast, I feel like I need you to make a YouTube video where you make all the noises for all the equips, all of them.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Agreed.
1 million
I'm
views,
telling you,
easy,
I could dub this entire game.
easy content. All right. Any more opinions on the Gohan, or do you guys want to move on to Bojack?
That boy is good. That's my thoughts on it. I'm having a lot of fun using him.
Actually, I'm
Because,
thinking. Go ahead.
Because I just rock future Gohan and then that Gohan, then it's like, okay. Like, they never, the thing is that people are just scared to rush. Ever since Goresh mentioned, like, yeah, you counter a team like that, just rush right away, whatever. Just get it off, right? Because these matches go so long that you could easily get 2 rushes. That's what I've been doing. So I'm playing a lot of matches where, like, I rush twice and, like, they don't even rush. Because they're just too scared of future Gohan's endurance and then revival Gohan.
Yeah.
So the real question today is, what's the best unit? Is it Gohan or Gohan?
It's definitely Gohan.
I think
Gohan!
I think it's
Gohan
LF
all the
Piccolo.
way.
What? Yeah, the thing is, like,
It's
if
on
I
Frieza.
second form Frieza, right?
No, he's looking at that LF one, like laughing, like you don't know what I know.
No.
Oh, okay.
Nah, but seriously,
It is-
as long as I play region and I get to LF the future Gohan with DKP, I'm fine. But then again, most people by now should know that. I still have some people throwing him in front of the rush when I'm rushing with DKP and him just die. But with that purple Gohan, that option is now just out the window if they manage to actually swap him back in. But I know some people, they also just say at one point, okay, whatever. Before he farms the second rush, I'm just gonna get rid of that life bar. Even though that means that, you know, you rushed and they still have 3 vanishes, which is less than optimal, but yeah.
Oh, well, I agree. Like 100%. If I cover with my future Gohan or something and he's full HP and you're having to juggle between him and Red Gohan and you're never going to get a clear shot on my units for with your rush, I could call your rush anyways. Just rush me. I agree with that. If you can blow through my first HP bar and put me in a situation where the perfect advantage caps one of my units, that's probably the right choice.
Yeah, agree. Alrighty, before we actually move on to Bojack, we're going to talk about Princess Trunks, and we have someone else in here who likes hybrids very much, so Swift, what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this green Trunks is honestly a very good unit. I think he does really good damage. Going into this banner, we all kind of knew that Hybrid Saiyans really needed a purple and a green unit. So the fact that they touched on both of those colors is really, really nice for the team overall. I mean, his stats aren't anything too crazy, but he definitely does some really good damage. His blue card does really, really good damage. I only have this guy at 3 stars, and I've been playing a little bit around with him, and I gotta say, he is very good. I like his overall kit. You know, he's kind of got a basic kit where, or not basic, but you know, we're used to, you know, pop the main ability, get a blue card, restore key. You know, so many units do that. But when you have a unit that gets card draw speed on top of that, and he's doing really, really good damage, I mean, overall, I'd say this guy is a solid green unit for the Hybrid Saiyans team. I mean, he's got some really good buffs in his kit. He has a 80% damage inflicted. He's got reduced damage received. I mean, he is a fairly, I'm not going to say he's super tanky, but he can be fairly tanky. And then he does have some pseudo support buffs to where, you know, after he dies, he restores allied Hybrid Saiyan health. He gives a damage buff. I think it's 25%. I mean, overall, I think this guy is a phenomenal green option for the team. I was mainly running on my Hybrid Saiyan team before this guy came out. My green option was the free-to-play EX Gohan. And I actually love that guy, the free-to-play Zenkai EX Green Gohan. He is a really good unit, but I would say overall this Green Trunks is definitely a better option. If you have him 3 to 6 stars, he's going to be very good for the team. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Well, the main thing, you touched on his kit pretty much the whole thing. I want to point out that as a green option for hybrids, because the core team of hybrids is obviously the 3 LF Gohans, and you want a green alternative option, and this Trunks brings it. He has probably one of the coolest Z abilities since, I guess, merged Zamasu back on 2nd anniversary. He has all the way up to 35% to strike attack and defense, and another 18% to movie hybrid strike attack. So he feeds directly into Purple Gohan up to 53% strike attack. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is very true.
Oh yeah, that is a good point. At 6 stars, he does pick up that extra strike attack buff. Yeah,
he's optimal bench for the Hybrid Saiyan team, and he provides you the green option to go into combat with. So even if you're not like fancy to his unit design or his kit, if you're running the triple LF squad, you just bench him for him.
Right.
Who would not be fancying his unit design?
I know, that's what I was about to say too. I didn't even care what this man did. When I saw him, I was just like, that's who I want the most.
Yeah, he does a backflip in his windscreen.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's a top 5 win screens. He's easily up there.
The flip.
Yeah.
You're cutting out, Asdik, unless you stop there.
I was just commenting on the flip too. I absolutely love it.
And his blue card does have blast armor, and you can teach it to Shallot. Not that that really means anything these days, but you know, if they give Shallot a new transformation soon and he becomes more viable, this could be a decent blue card for him. His green card's pretty good, restores key. You want to mainly use this green card when you're already out of cards. Like you go through a combo, you pop the green card last, and then you draw 2 new cards, and you get a 25% damage buff. Pretty good green card in my opinion. Yeah, 20 key as well. Definitely a good green card.
The question is, does he buff damage by like when he destroys cards, just like Gohan does?
No, he gets a
Uh,
25% damage inflicted for 10 counts, and then he destroys all cards and draws 2 new ones.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're at the end of a combo, you can almost just pop this, draw 2 new cards. You get a damage buff and key. I mean, it's a pretty good green card. I like it.
Yeah, one of the cool things about him is that you can like switch him into a blue card or something like that, and if he falls below 75% health, he will heal and get more damage. So he has that sort of like defensive utility that makes him pretty versatile, I think. So I like that about him.
Sounds pretty nice. I think I should actually try the new units in PvP instead of just playing the raid. But I need erasers because my equipment suck except for regen, I think.
Yeah,
And
my
Goresh,
equip's are really bad.
What's really cool about the buff that Goresh just mentioned is the fact that he does pick up a 30% damage inflicted, and that cannot be canceled. So
It's
I'm
permanent,
assuming, yeah, once you get that, it's just permanent. So yeah, that's a really good ability to have.
Well, at the start of the fight, because I believe you proxed it under like 70-75% HP.
Yeah, I think it's 75.
The general, here's usually what happens, right? You lead with red LF Gohan, you're fighting, your opponent hits you. Oh no, they're hitting me with the blue unit. You swap in this Trunks. Trunks soaks some HP. Their combo ends. He heals back up. You don't give a crap anymore and you keep fighting. Like, it's super easy to proc his ability. And if you proc it and, you know, use a blue card or something, I'm doing like half to 3/4 of people's HP right now with this unit when it's color neutral. If it's a blue unit, we're just going to pretty much cap them.
And if you swap him in on a cover change, he has, I think it's 45% damage cut, which is a pretty high number for damage cut. So on cover change, he could probably be pretty tanky as well.
Does he have the penalty for it? The swap penalty? Like 3 counts or something?
No, I don't think so. Well, because he has a general reduced damage received by 25% for 15 counts every single time you swap him in. And then on cover change, he has an extra 20% reduced damage. So, I mean, yeah, you swap him in on cover change, he's going to be able to tank some hits, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And he inflicts enemy with downgrade plus 10 to all arts costs. And that's only for 5 counts, but that's still pretty big. I mean, that alone can stop a combo.
10 is pretty annoying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's a high
disruption
number.
factor.
It's a high number. Maths. Truth, have you played him at all?
The Trunks?
Yes.
So I have him 14 star. And I mean, I am not that impressed, but then again, I'm only ever using like LFs and Zenkai 7 units, so I don't know. I feel like Trunks is just a character that's better in other people's hands. I'm more so like, you know, oh, here's my Merge Masu green card. This is good, right? So I don't know, Trunks, man.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, you look at what he's competing with. Red LF Gohan, I've taken him into mono blue because he's that busted, right? So check, he's coming on your field, right? You're gonna cover him with the new Revival Gohan, correct? Right. And now your question is, are you gonna take Future Gohan and grab Endurance, blow up 2 of your opponent's cards and all of his ally buffs? Or are you gonna take Trunks? And the only time you ever take Trunks is when you're looking at your opponent and you're like, you're gonna run blue, blue, purple versus me, aren't you? That's the only time I'm really thinking I need to take this Trunks. Every other time I've taken Trunks, it's been for a showcase. Otherwise, the core 3 LF hybrids is all you need.
Yeah, because when I've been fighting God Key just over and over and over and over and over. That's all I'm fighting is God Key. And that blue Goku has been just tossing my salad nonstop. The Resurrection F blue Goku. And like, I tried to be cute a couple times and I brought that Trunks instead of Future Gohan. And I just feel like the Trunks just gets annihilated. Right? I don't know.
Well, see, the problem
being like fodder.
The problem with that is, I guess, you know, God Key just got that strong purple unit. They got that purple VB. So you go to bring the green Trunks to counter the blue Goku, and then they just bring purple VB to counter your Trunks. So yeah, it can be tough for sure against God Key.
He's troublesome. He does a lot, that Vegito Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's nuts.
I never really bring a color counter unit unless it's like an overwhelmingly oppressive unit. Like 18, you bring your red versus, right? Like, yeah, this green Trunks, I like it because, especially 2 seasons ago, mono blue Saiyans was just everywhere. You had to have a green, and that's what actually gave that green Future Gohan value in some people's hands, because they needed a green so badly. But green for me was always the off color, and I didn't even take it for most of the time because most of the fights, as Truth is already witnessing, you don't need it. And this Trunks fills that role of being a perfect bench with this ridiculously good Z ability, and also being a viable green that if I look at my opponents into blue, blue, purple setup, I can take a green in there and drop my red.
Yeah,
So, Prof,
makes sense.
on your most optimal team with the 3 LF Gohans, do you Zenkai buff them, or do you have other? What's your bench?
I've shown this off on camera, and I believe the most optimal team is going to be the 3 LF Gohans, this Trunks, the blue Zenkai Trunks, and then an HP bench.
Oh, like Kid
But
Gohan.
the Kid Gohan or the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, either one. And they're both trash units. You're just there for the HP, right?
Surprised you bring that blue Trunks.
Yeah, I still put a lot of value in it, and I know a lot of players that will come at me with pitchforks if I don't give them the full color wheel. I've seen a lot of players, drop the green Trunks and keep that blue Trunks on there because he's just such a powerful unit, and then run double HP. And that team is nasty with this Revival Gohan. Revival Gohan and Red Gohan with double HP, you don't need Zenkai anymore. They're just walls of damage. But as Truth saw on my setup, I love my Red Gohan, I love my Purple Gohan, and since I'm taking those 2 units in 95% of the fights, if not more, pretty much every single fight now, I can't really think of a single fight I don't take Purple Gohan. It is optimal to bench a Zenkai for them at that point, right? The only time you really stray away from that is if you plan on running Color Wheel. So I think the double Zenkai bench between Red Trunks, Purple Gohan, and then running that Green Trunks on there as a green option just in case you need it is the perfect setup for me.
See, that's where I'm at with my hybrids team, is I can't decide if I want to fully optimize like just the 3 LFs, like purple, yellow, red, or if I want to have a full color wheel. Because if you fully optimize the 3 colors, you can get some pretty hefty buffs on that team. But like you said, the green Trunks has a phenomenal Z ability, so I'm gonna have to get him up to 6 stars and put him on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could bench the purple Super Saiyan 2 Zenkai Gohan and the red Zenkai Super Saiyan Trunks, and they actually still buff the entire team. But then, for future Gohan, I think the only Zenkai buffer he has is what, Goku Black. So I would probably put an HP bench instead of Zenkai buffing him, because Black doesn't do anything for the rest of the team, right?
Let's put Zenkai into perspective real quick here. So that Red Trunks is what, 25% blast attack at 14 star? A modern unit like the Green Trunks comes out with 35 to 2 stats, and he gives the extra bonus, right? So over 2 of your units on your team, you're essentially, doubling the Z ability bonus. You're losing the Zenkai, but a full team of units at 35%, for their Z abilities easily competes with Zenkai. It doesn't beat it out. Obviously Zenkai is optimal. If you're running a red unit with Red Gohan, double Zenkai benching him, his stats go through the roof, right? But everybody else is just getting that measly 25% blast damage increase. So a lot of people, when they go for these color wheels, especially with these new age units, they're getting some ridiculous buffs at the end of the road, especially when they all start going to 14 star. I trust me, I agree with you, but there's a lot of people that are going to say that, like HP, for instance, do you really want to give your purple Gohan and your future Gohan, right, a 25% blast damage increase to make your red Gohan just that much stronger when you could give them 20% more HP and effectively have 60% more HP across your entire team? Like, that's the argument. And I think a lot of people are going to go for the HP because the other 2 units become reliable options. Like, if I rush that Gohan, all that investment you spent on Red Gohan is up in smoke.
Fair point. I mean, in the end, I guess it's also a matter of playstyle. Like, if you want the color wheel and also have that, for example, that green option, obviously you're not going to Zenkai buff every unit. If you want to just maximize, maybe try out giving that Gohan, for example, crazy buffs, or, that Gohan or that Gohan, then you just kind of Zenkai buff him, I guess. But yeah, there was another unit on this banner, and that was Mr. Bojangles, aka Bojack Unbound. And Azteek, have you pulled him? Have you played him? What do you think?
Yes, dude. So I actually did pull this guy. I have him sitting at 2 stars right now. And I know 2 stars is like literally the bare minimum, right? But I feel like this guy has so much potential. I said before the podcast that I'm planning on putting some Z power into him because I really do like this guy a lot. He almost reminds me just a little bit of the Ice Shenron, right? Because he's able to go ahead and take away your Vanish on that main ability. And although the ultimate or the Awakened Arts cards that he does have it does so much damage. It does so much damage. The only thing about it, the only downside is that it cannot kill, right? I did some testing with it too. It cannot kill off of that Awakens Arts card, and it cannot even pop the Endurance, right? It can't even pop the Endurance. And so I can see how some people probably wanted that to actually not be part of his kit. But dude, like I don't know. I just love everything about this guy for the most part. Besides that one factor, right? He does some really good tanking. I feel like you have a lot of potential to get some really good techniques off too, because there's been some sort of scenarios where instead of actually going for the transformation, if I'm already like have a unit on my opponent's team dead, I'll just go ahead and toss out the transformation. I'll just take away their vanish and I'll just go for a rush or something like that, right? I think that's like a fair trade. I know some people probably are just like, no, like you should just always get the transformation off anyways, but he also has this other unique ability where he's getting like a 15% damage inflicted against Super Saiyans and another 15% against Saiyans. So if you have a Super Saiyan who's also just a pure Saiyan as well, you're getting a whopping 30%, right? So that's pretty good. And he also has like a kind of like a pseudo support too, right? He has like the 20% to damage inflicted by allied episode sagas from the movies tag or tag powerful opponent just for existing, right? Just for existing. I think that is until he's defeated. And then you have all that stuff going on. There's just so much stuff, like even down to his Z ability. Once you do get him started up enough, like you're going to see him. I feel like he's going to be a really, really strong contender on sagas from the movies and on powerful opponents. And powerful opponent is just one of those tags that are just consistently getting updated, right? They're consistently growing up there in the ranks and stuff like that. And I really, really do love this team. I ran this guy alongside the Demon King Piccolo, and that's kind of like where I think that's where I have a little bit of an issue with it, because typically when I'm running the Demon King Piccolo on a powerful opponent team, the red unit that I want to immediately go to is that Revival Cell. But dude, Bojack is just so cool. I don't know. What do you guys think of him?
I think he's good. I really like his blue card where you just land the blue card and it destroys 3 enemy cards. I think that's a cool ability.
Yeah.
I think he's overall a really good unit. I agree. The downside is the fact that you pop that Galactic Blaster, I think it's called, and it does a lot of damage, but it will not kill. And like you mentioned, it won't even pop Endurance. I saw that happen to me a couple times where somebody actually used that on me, and I threw in Future Gohan, and it didn't even pop the Endurance. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'd say that's the main downside. But other than that, he's a cool unit. Very, very good Z ability, like you said, perfect for powerful opponent, and a lot of the powerful opponent can also be sagas from the movies, so you get that bonus buff. So yeah, overall, very good Z ability. I think he's a good unit.
I think they were very careful with how they did the Awakened Arts card, because think about how much the main ability is actually doing when you pop that. It makes you ignore special cover changes, number one. Number two, it makes the enemy have 0 vanish, right? So it would basically be a guaranteed kill in a lot of scenarios if it actually did allow you to kill the enemy with it.
That is true.
I think they just wanted to be extra careful, because that could very quickly, turn out become just ridiculously overpowered if they didn't keep it in check. I think
better than
not letting
Typhon?
you kill the enemy.
So
Yeah.
when I first saw
curious,
that ability,
how-
I thought it was anti-revival, like a way to one-shot a unit without one-shotting them. You know what I mean?
How good would you guys say that Bojack is if it could kill?
He would be really annoying to fight, because he would just have a guaranteed pretty much kill on anything.
Yeah, he would just wait out
Yeah.
the transformation until you have that unit in your sights. And the only way out would be to switch if you're fast enough.
You have to go out of your way to miss his Awakened Arts card.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I read somebody
definitely.
on, I don't know if it was Twitter, there was some post, I think it was ZVG, saying, if you miss this card, delete the game. And somebody was like, yeah, I forgot that Super 17 absorbs blasts. So he popped the ult, and the opponent switched into Super 17 and just absorbed it.
Well, that shouldn't be possible, because he ignores special cover changes.
No,
So
but
that person's
he wasn't
lying, I
in
think.
he wasn't in a combo. That's the thing. Like long
It doesn't
range.
matter.
Oh.
No, like
Wait,
you
what,
no,
have
he
the
used the green
green
card.
card.
The green card, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's, you have to really go out of your way for that to happen.
Yeah, that's very niche. That is true.
Just use it in a combo. If you hit your opponent, swap into Bojiggle, and then shoot the card. You win.
And he also
It does a
destroys
ton
every
of
card,
damage.
right? So it's there. You cannot not draw it.
Yep. He destroys.
Yeah.
He literally destroys the card for you, so you can draw it.
Yeah, just like VB.
Yep.
I like the unit. I think he's a wonderful addition to the powerful opponent team. I wasn't really actually caring about him too much on the movie squad, but I think he's cool on powerful opponents. But they just got the merge Zamasu, so
Yeah, that's
Green
true.
it.
I don't know. Like just like with Jiren and Green, Goku Black, you can get these units up there really easily. I think this is a unit you can multi-Z up there and start getting a powerful opponent team going without worrying about the LFs. So I like him for that reason alone.
Yeah, but apparently he's impossible to pull. So
Well, I mean, my Bojack is 7 stars, my Gohan is 2 stars plus multi-Z power, so it's like, I guess your mileage may vary.
yeah.
But I guess, yeah, judging from your stars, I understand your pain.
And I guess another cool thing about him is every time you use a strike or a blast, you're getting 20% damage cut. So, I
Yep.
mean, it's only for 3 counts, but I mean, if you do a combo, that's, 20, 40, 60, 80% damage cut for, however many counts. That could be really helpful.
Yeah, I think it's more so it's debate people into thinking it's good. I don't think it's actually that good because it's only lasting for 3 counts. Like the only time this is really going to be valuable, I think, is if you get PV'd. Then it can maybe last for like 2 cards, but then it goes away.
But the
Like
thing
if
is,
you're in a combo
Right.
with him, you can notice if you take a look at your buff bar, you'll notice how quickly those buffs elapse, and you'll see just how little time it actually lasts.
yeah, and keep in mind
Yeah.
that after your combo ends, your opponent doesn't necessarily already right away combo you either, because they also
Yeah.
kind of need to bait out your vanish. You're going to switch vanish or something, and then those buffs are meaningless anyways. And I think you can only get those like 60-80%. Well, for one, you can only get it for 1 timer count max, because the buffs are just going to come gradually, and they're also going to go gradually. But that also only works if you don't sidestep. If you sidestep, I think after the second card, the first buff is already gone again. So it's
Yeah, about to say, if you're doing
Yeah,
charge step,
that's
you're
true.
only going to have 2 buffs up at any given moment.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
you
think it's
literally
very
have to
deceptive.
slap
I think it's
all of
actually,
them.
I think those effects are actually pretty bad. I mean, the effects themselves are good, but the timer counts restriction is what makes them bad.
You think 5 would still be balanced but better, or do you think it would be too broken?
I think like 8 would be optimal. I need
Well, like
it would-
10
I don't
timer
think they would
counts is
ever
a
make
full
it-
combo.
Yeah, I don't think they would ever make it bit larger or longer than 8 counts. But like 5 counts, I think is still too short
Okay.
for it to be really good. I'd literally rather just have like damage buffs on my cards that I'm holding than what he has.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because, by the time you finish your combo, and like Pomzor said, it's not guaranteed that the enemy starts their combo right away. They could just side float for 5 seconds and let those buffs go away. So, yeah, that 3 timer counts probably should be longer.
Yeah, and it's also not guaranteed they're going to do this again. You're not going to just stay on the field with Bojack if they bait out your vanish. Just to eat the combo and have the first card do no damage, but then the other cards be like, oops, I messed up. You're probably
I
gonna
guess one
just
other
switch it.
time it could be useful is if you're blasting from long range and they catch you with a blue or something. That could be good, but that's it.
Oh yeah,
True.
it's a good
Also,
point.
they activate on activation, not on hit.
Yep.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because I think it's not the cards that he's holding. It's literally the effect on the cards themselves. It's like when Kefla gets strike damage for using her strike card.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
So do you think he's better on PO or on movies? I think Prof already gave his opinion. What do you guys think?
I
Or
don't see
Heller
a
Clan.
world where I don't see a world where I ever use this guy over Zamasu on powerful opponents. So I'm gonna say movies.
Yeah, I'd say overall movies has probably a more stable team. I mean, they have more Zenkai options and whatnot. So I'd say, in my opinion, probably Sagas from the movies. And I agree, Zamasu is probably going to be holding down that red spot on powerful opponents. So I agree,
I think
Sagas
I
from the
buffed him
movies.
with Red Broly, the free one.
Nobody's talking about Heraclan? Okay.
We
We'll talk
will
about
in a
that in a
second.
little.
We will in a second. No worries. And any favorite equips you have for him?
Honestly, I feel like the equips are very, very limited for him. Or I don't know.
He's
In my own opinion.
He's about to get a crazy equipment in this week.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to hold off on that because as of right now, let me see. I'm looking at DBZ space right now. He doesn't have a whole lot to choose. He has some a couple awakened ones, but I had like no equips for this man. Like I almost had to go ahead for my showcase. I almost just threw on the friendship equip just so I could have the shiny Z plus on it. It was rough.
There's There are two equips I think are pretty good. The first one is I forget what it's called, but it's when Dragon Ball Super Broly is like about to attack Frieza. That one's pretty good as double strike attack.
Okay.
And then there's the Pycon one that has pure strike if you have a melee unit, which he himself is a melee unit. Oh no, sorry, he's not. He's defense.
I think it's called failure or something, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I definitely overlooked that on my video because I put it on him, and I don't think I actually had a melee type unit on my I forgot he was a defense type. Okay, yeah. I mean, that is a good equip though, because you can run him with like Metal Cooler, green. Green covers red, so.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as you run him with a melee unit, then it'll still be good.
So I'm a fan of HP items, and he has access to the Awaken No Way item, which is 18% of both base defenses, then base HP up to 10%.
Is that the Broly one?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's Broly when he's coming out of the water.
Yeah, that one's good. I like that one.
This one here. 10% base health. Yeah. That definitely.
Oh yeah, the Awaken No Way.
That one awakens.
I need to grind that one.
The Awaken Janemba one is good, right? I remember seeing that when it came out, and I was like, "Wow, this one's really good."
Let's see.
Oh, are you talking about the one with the health restoration on it?
Yeah.
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 Because he does heal 30% with his main ability once he's transformed. So that.
Oh wow, that'd be a very good equipment for him.
You can get a lot of hills off with those two equips right there.
Honestly, this might be a best in slot equipment for him.
Yeah, I
because remember his blast attack is not that much different than a strike. I think when he's transformed, I think they're pretty comparable.
Yeah.
And he gets both stats too, so. Plus.
Oh yeah, and the Awaken No Way also has health restoration and health. So yeah, if you had both of these pretty good rolls on both of those equipments, you could have double health restoration buffs. That'd be pretty nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, he could get close to healing 50% of his health with that main ability.
Wow.
Yeah, that No Way item is pretty much a staple on all movie units.
Yeah, it's a crazy equipment.
I actually overlooked that, but I'm not playing movies, so I don't feel.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Same here. No harm in that. I need to grind that one as well.
Yeah, I got a Z+ on that one for my blue Broly. He loves it. He says it's delicious.
Nice.
Fair enough. Okay. So we got more units on that banner, and I think they're everybody's favorite, but especially Goresh's favorite. So Goresh, talk us through the Hera clan units.
Yeah, so Beto, being the main headline unit of the 3rd anniversary, is really, really good at carrying the Hera clan team. He gives, I think it's 40% support to the Hera clan, and the real reason why I think Bojack, at least in my opinion, like they designed him to have not that much damage and stuff, is because he's getting a lot of his damage from the Z abilities from the Hera clan as well as from Beto's support. Because remember, Beto's giving 40% damage. I think he also is healing every time he switches out, like the whole team. I think it's up to 3 times. So keep in mind, we just talked about these equipments that have health restoration for Bojack, right? That's going to also take into consideration the fact that Beto is healing that every time he switches out. So Bojack's going to be healing a ton.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, all jokes aside, I think the best of the batch obviously is Gokua. At this point, everybody knows how good Gokua is. They clearly noticed and acknowledged the fact that hybrids was going to be a major issue in this meta. So, designing a unit that does so much extra stuff to hybrids, not only the fact that he does 6% more damage, but also takes 30% less damage from them, I think is a huge deal. There's been instances where I've used Gokua and I was able to tank literally an ultimate from Red Gohan with a Sun Family ally dead on his team and live. So that was a pretty good testament to how good Gokua was, and mine's at like 4 stars or something. So
pretty impressive.
Wow.
He's really, really good. The one really, really good thing, I think honestly the best part about the unit, the Gokua unit, is the fact that when he transforms, he has like a mini Demon King Piccolo effect where he gets a full hand and as well as ki, and he heals himself. Without there being like that super restrictive requirement for him, like with the purple Demon King Piccolo, where he needs either 5 Dragon Balls or 30 timer count, or however many timer counts. I think it's 30 timer count.
Yeah, it's 30.
30.
Yeah, so him not needing that, I think, like, it makes that effect crazy powerful, because not only is he getting all that stuff, but he's also, his stats when he's transformed are like the equivalent. I remember comparing him to Green Goku Black Transform. They have like very similar stats when they're transformed, which is ridiculous to me. I don't understand why they made him an EX. They should have just made him a Sparking, and that's sort of going into the next point here, which is I don't like. They made these EXs, right? 4 new EXs, the Heraclan team. This is like the team that they want you to run, or one of the 2 new teams. That's Hybrids and Heraclan, the two teams, right? That they want you to run during the second half of this anniversary, and they like just didn't change the rates for the EXs for some reason. So it's going to be very difficult for the average player to be able to make this team, because nobody's going to jump into PvP with like a 1-star Gokua or like a 1-star Bujin or something, right? It's not
missing a
feasible.
unit.
Yeah, or not even having the full EX squad, because that's probably, I would say, 90% of the player base is not going to have all 4 of these guys.
Dude, I think Beto came after like 40,000 for me.
Jesus.
It's not.
Yeah, Beto, the one I wanted most, couldn't get him. Wouldn't
Took
show
me the
up.
longest.
Wait,
Gresh just pulling him every freaking multi, laughing.
I mean, he's my favorite character.
true.
Beto Unbound.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like they released an entire team of pseudo LFs based off how hard it is to get a hold of all of them.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
actually, it's lunacy how dumb that decision
I
was,
think
because
it's 0.357% or something.
they didn't change the rates at all. Like, they're the same players as every other EX in the game, and I guess their thought process was, oh, well, there's a guaranteed EX step, they'll pull them. They should have just made the rates for those units specifically doubled for that EX step. Like, that would have been way better.
They're making way too
Yeah.
much sense.
But going back to the units themselves, I think Goku obviously is the best one. I actually think Beto, like not being like trolly or anything, is the second best of them. He just does so much. Like, his damage is pretty good. His green card gives you a card. His main ability is pretty solid. Like, everything he's doing is pretty good. And then I think Bujin and Zangia are pretty comfortably the worst too. I would actually say Zangia is probably the worst, which is crazy to think about because she gets double card draw speed. So you
Yeah.
look at her kit and you'd think she'd be really good, but her stats are so bad. I had I actually think this video just went live like earlier today. I had a fight with her, and I was attacking a purple Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. My Zangia is 7 stars. She was like barely damaging Vegeta, and she has type advantage. So that just goes to show how like little damage she does. But she does, her combos are very long with double card draw speed, so you can buy time with her and stuff like that. She has her uses, but it's just, I was not impressed at all. And then Bujin, I think the only viable thing that you can do with him is he has the lock, which is not like, the red Bardock lock or, the new age locks where it locks both you and your opponent in. This is a traditional green Bardock lock in where you lock in your opponent for 10 counts and they cannot switch, they cannot counterplay that at all. So, you can lock in, like, again, you're fighting a hybrid team, you lock in Red Gohan. If you don't have Goku transformed, then you just rush him. And that's like the way that he can get value. But other than that, I'm really not impressed with the Heraclan EXs. I think Gokua is head and shoulders far and away the best one. Beto is solid, and then like Bujin and Zangia are both pretty bad.
I really had high hopes for Zangia too, man. I saw that card draw speed, and I was hoping she'd be really good.
I mean, I think, okay, once you get her to higher stars, but this is not going to be for a very long time for most players. Maybe she can do some work when she's at higher stars. Like, I'm talking like 9-star plus. But it's, I was very, very disappointed with the damage he was doing.
Yeah. And you have her 7 stars too, so I mean, yeah, that is
Yeah.
a little disappointing for sure.
I mean,
So you would say, let's say you're running the Heraclan and you want to choose like a support unit, you would obviously choose Beto over Bujin every day, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Bujin, I think, actually does work better against the hybrid team specifically because of the lock-in. And because the hybrid team most people are running the setup with Red Gohan, Future Gohan, and the new Purple Gohan. Like, if you can get that Red Gohan locked in and, like, rush him, you are in a really good spot because it's so difficult to rush that team now with how it's set up. Like, you obviously don't want to rush a rival unit. You don't want to rush an endurance unit. So if you can set up Bujin to lock in Gohan and rush him, like, he's done his job.
Yeah, that's a good point.
so would you run, what's it called, Beto and Gokua on a different team? Like, are they fitting on movies at all?
I mean, at that point, you might as well just run the full Heraclan, like, if you're running 2 of them. But, I mean, you can do them 2 and Bojack together. I think Beto and Goku actually do work pretty well together. Like, they were easily the 2 best units that I was running in that team. They felt the best to me. purple covers the blue weakness to green, so I think that's pretty good. Beto does give a significant increase to Goku's damage, which is very noticeable as well. So I mean, if you want like specifically Goku to look good, he's a really good unit to use with him. I probably wouldn't use Beto like on a serious team I was running, just to be completely fair.
Yeah.
Who would?
So, basically, what I had to ask then is, since basically put in all your input about how good the Heraclan is overall, and so I think it's safe to say that chat wants you and Truth to race to get the first 14-star Heraclan team.
Truth laughing menacingly.
How many copies is that to 14 star and EX?
By the way, I'll just let you guys know.
A lot.
I finished summoning on the banner. I'm done summoning on the banner, and my Goku was 4 stars.
That's
You
crazy.
said
Truth 40 copies. It's 250 Z power. You need 10,000.
Oh my
So
god.
you got this, Truth.
Yeah, you guys can
You
do it.
realize how powerful that meme would be if you summoned for 14-star Goku showcase? I'm just saying, like, you would be the only one to slap and fish with a Goku.
He already does pretty good damage. I'm definitely pumping all of my Z power into him from
Same.
this point.
But I haven't
he's
gotten
good.
much on the
So-
raid this weekend.
I have not used any of the Heraclan because day one I was having way too much fun with Gohan. And all of a sudden I'm like ranked 2,000. I'm fighting like players way better than me, so it's like I'm not running Heraclan. I'm just not doing that right now. I'm gonna get crushed.
I feel that.
So
I feel that.
my only experience is against people using them, which is not much. And it's like Bojack, he just goes down like a bitch. Like Bojack is not scary at all. But Gokua has caught me before, where it's like a 2-star Gokua almost like one-shot of my future Gohan. I'm like, well, I'm glad he's 2 stars because that would have been very problematic. So.
Goku actually feels like a different unit when you're running him against the hybrid team. Like, I was running him against, I think it was a Zenkai Sun Family team or something, and he was barely damaging Namek Goku. Like, he was okay. He wasn't looking impressive at all. And then the next match, I'd go against like a hybrid team, and he's just like one-shotting everyone. I'm like, all right, cool.
It's so funny because Goku encounters a hybrid Saiyan and gets killed in 5 seconds. So he's a hybrid Saiyan counter. It's very funny.
Well, they kept the canon. This Gohan is pretty much one-shotting everybody right now.
Yeah. You got to stick to the to the source material here, I suppose.
Otherwise, Shueisha
Yeah,
is
Super
coming
Saiyan 4
knocking.
Gogeta looked pretty bad in the Omega fight.
He did.
I do love the fact that Goku actually uses his sword on the strike animations. Like, I hate when they have these units where they give him a sword and then they just don't even use it. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude,
my
that kick
favorite
is sick.
My favorite argument is when people are like, oh, well, Gohan, he one-shot everyone in the movie, so they had to make him as good as he was in the movie. And it's like, okay, yeah, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta looked pretty good against Omega. Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta looked pretty good against Broly. Like, well, what is that argument?
Hey, Blue Gogeta.
I hope you don't think I'm
I
serious.
love Blue Gogeta.
Too late, Prof. That
Oh my god.
that will
No,
forever
I'm not saying
be-
you. I've actually seen people say that. Like, that's what people said.
Well,
Like,
yeah, the UI Goku's gonna come out. His Vanish Gate just doesn't go away, and you lose.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it
The
is.
infinite
Right?
vanish gauge.
You just need to live it out until the heat goes too much and he just runs out of mastered UI transformation or whatever.
You
Oh.
don't get a Vanish Gate. You just start vanishing.
Infinite perfect vanish auto.
Yep.
Easy peasy. All right, so I think we talked about the Heraclan. But yeah, let's talk about the fact, Truth, I'm especially interested to hear your opinion right now, is the fact that we have 4 banners right now, 3 of them step-ups that include Legends limited units. How do you feel that has what kind of an impact does it have on players? Do you feel it's healthy for the game? Is it appropriate for an anniversary? What do you think?
So, one thing I find interesting is that Dokkan, for years in a row now, they have been just tossing out like 4 summonable LRs per like anniversary, right? And now, currently, summonable LRs and LS, they have about the same rate, right, Gresh? It's like pretty much the same thing? Like the
0.5. Yep.
Since Gogeta Blue and Broly, the LF rate has been about the same as a Dokkan LR. And it's like, no one has an issue with it in Dokkan. It's like, oh yeah, there's just 4 LRs. Like, you pick the banner you want to go for. Like, people know that, like, okay, there's going to be a banner in part 2. I can understand, like, a lot of players being upset because they didn't anticipate another LF banner, right? And Gohan being, I mean, the best of the 3, right? So, like, I get it, but I don't think it's an issue, really. And the other thing, too, is the Gohan banner's up to, what, August 4th or something? Like, it's up for, like, 3 months, dude. It's around for a long time. When does the Gogeta and Zamasu banners go away?
I think it's like
17 days.
July 15th.
15th.
Yeah, 17 days. July 15th, yeah.
Because I don't think it's an issue that they dropped 3 LFs during the anniversary. No, absolutely not. Right? Like,
I think
you
the
have to.
people-
These games are not designed for players to be summoning on every banner and getting every unit, right? You have to be smart. So
Not like us.
Yeah. It's a good point.
I think the only people really suffering are free-to-play collectors that want every single unit. These units on this new banner are like on a completely different team than the previous 2 banners. Like, you can just ignore this banner as much as I say, oh, I love Gohan. If you like VB, Gogeta 4, they're not bad. this Gohan's just hype right now.
dude,
I think it's funny when you when you compare the Gogeta banner to like both the Zamasu banner and the Gohan banner. It's like it's not even comparable. Like, it sucks.
Because Ice and Nova don't carry the hype. If Ice and Nova were hype, then that would be 3 sparking units for you to go for. That'd be a core team for your GT that you're all excited for.
I also
But
don't think Ice and Nova are good. So.
And they knew people would just purposely go for Gogeta, and they just didn't really care who else was on it, so...
That's how it
I feel like
felt,
they
at
did it
least.
on purpose, yeah.
Like, the Merge Zamasu banner has way cooler units as far as I'm concerned, with the Vegito, Kefla, and Merge Zamasu and
Oh, yeah.
units as well.
Yeah,
I
also
agree.
Gogeta Blue coming back is really nice.
Yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
VB,
Vegeta
like,
Blue's
this
on
banner
it.
right here is hype.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Gogeta 4 banner, and I'm like, I really want Gogeta.
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's strange to me that
Unfortunately.
like they didn't do some kind of like Omega Shenron, right? It's like, okay, well, we'll just do Ice Shenron. What? Anniversary? You're releasing Ice Shenron?
You
and
mean
Vita.
hype
Okay.
Shenron?
Well,
Yeah,
it's because we got EX Baby. That's why.
yeah, and EX Super 17. Yep.
Yep. There
It
we
should have been
go.
reversed. Ice and Nova should have been the EXs, and it should have been a new sparking Super 17 and Baby.
I wouldn't have minded that at all.
That probably would have been pretty cool. Also, it would be like a good purple for androids.
Well, GT
Yeah.
just got like 3 Zenkais in a row, plus this entire banner. I mean, they're overwhelmed with units that are brand new, sparkly, don't know what to do with at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like,
One
you
thing
literally
that
can't put all the new GT units on a team.
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
And
why
it's a
would you run
premium
Ice?
team too, kind of like you said. They're all fairly new, and it's you have to have a lot of CC to be keeping up with that. I think GT to this day is still a pretty premium team if you want to run all the Zenkai units at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why would you run Ice and Nova or like over Zenkai Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta?
You don't.
Yeah,
Yep. They're
Because
just
you can't fit them all, so you shut off these units that aren't hype.
Exactly. You kind of just have your main core, and then you just build around them, right?
Yep.
Like, there's people that are going to run that VB and Kefla just because it's VB and Kefla. It doesn't matter what the kit is. They're going to get used, right? And
Exactly.
the people are going to look Ice and Shenron, and a lot of technical players will look at Ice and be like, ooh, that's kind of cool. I like this, right? But 99% of the general player base is going to be like, what is this, dog crap?
Dude, I pulled
Cardboard
the first-
wings.
the first day of the anniversary. I pulled Ice Shenron. I was already like, whatever. Like, literally the first unit I pulled in the banner, I think, was Ice Shenron, and I was like,
Okay, cool.
I instantly didn't care. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's gimmicky with his, his vanished.
One really cool thing you could do with him. I don't think I've actually kind of want to do a video on this. I haven't really seen anybody talk about this though. Is with Zenkai Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you can hit him with the blue card, lock him in, and then immediately go to Ice Shenron, press your main, and they can't switch. And you can just hit him with the blue card again.
Yep. Yes.
You should make like a
I've actually been
montage.
able to pull that off.
I think Tom once made a montage of sniping people with the blue of the Super Saiyan 4. You should do like a montage of just 10 minutes doing this with some, I don't know, some sniper in between or
That would
something.
require me to use Ice Shenron. So
Yes.
I don't know.
Hey, come on, for the
I'll toss
content.
this out there for talking about montage. Like, we're shifting gears. I'm not going to do it because it seems too gimmicky, but Someone needs to double Zenkai buff that Gohan right before he resurrects. Not double Zenkai, double Bardock buff him.
I that's on my docket to Bardock buff that Gohan.
Because you could, the idea I'm thinking is, right, you're fighting with Bardock, your opponent does something, you swap into cover with Gohan, get the Bardock buffs, he dies, resurrects, and then you just cut this killing machine for about 8 timer counts.
Does he keep the buffs?
There's actually a buddy in my guild that runs that team. He has the new Revival Gohan on Super Saiyans, and he says it works pretty well. He likes it a lot, so I'm
Dude,
sure
he
it's a good
spends half
team.
to 3/4 of the fight in Super Saiyan 1. This unit isn't like Revival Cell.
Right.
You fight as Super Saiyan Gohan for quite a bit of the fight.
Okay.
And I think even after you transform, I could be mistaken, but so let's say you swap in from Bardock and you have the Super Saiyan buffs, and then let's say he transforms to Super Saiyan 2. Does he still keep those buffs for, I think, whatever timer count it is, or do they immediately go away?
He keeps them. This trick has
Okay,
been
that's what
done
I
with
thought.
like the Transforming God Vegeta to just make a Gatling gun that just can pretty much sweep your entire opponent's team.
Okay.
Damn.
Right, so you're still retaining those buffs. I could see that team being pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you can land a combo right off the bat somehow. This is going to be
Right.
a almost guaranteed kill.
I did want to quickly ask you guys, how do you feel about the fact, so 3rd anniversary starts, we get the Zamasu Gogeta banner, and obviously it's very hype, everybody's hyped for these units. And how do you guys feel about them kind of surprising us with this Gohan banner and the fact that he is so good? I feel kind of bad for a lot of people that, maybe they had 20, 30,000 CC saved up, and then they just spent it all on the 1st anniversary banners, and then boom, we get surprised with this Gohan Part 2 anniversary. I mean, how do you guys feel about that?
Surprised.
Well, I feel like Legends, they have to take back some of this power from the Zenkai units. Because I feel like the Zenkais are too strong for how cheap they are compared to, these normal units. I feel like that model is eventually going to kill the game. If just every strong unit is a Zenkai, that's, way easier to get than, LF Gohan. You really got to put in crystals to get him competitive. But, I don't know, God Vegeta is really good compared to, a normal banner unit, right?
Yeah, this is a whole other issue, because how do you act I don't think it's possible to balance an LF unit around him being 2 or 3 stars and then him being better than Zenkai's, because at that point you have people who are going to 14 star the unit and they're just going to be overwhelmingly better than every other unit in the game.
Really? Who might that be?
The difference in power between 2 and 3 stars compared to 14 stars is too big to where a 2 and 3 star unit can compete with Zenkai's and be okay. It's never going to work. And so I don't really know there's a way around this. The way I would fix it is I would just make every unit Zenkai on release and completely overhaul the way the Zenkai system works. Make it way easier to soul boost, make it all free, and keep Zenkaiing units that are old the same way they do it now. So have it be 7,000 crystals to fully Zenkai them, stuff like that. But release units now that Zenkai on release, give them the full 4 unique abilities, give them the whole soul boosting system, but make it all free. And make it way easier to soul boost the new units, and then that way you don't have to balance them around, being such low stars and being so good. Whereas you have them at 14 stars, like this Gohan, 14 star this Gohan, you beat the game, it's over.
So how would y'all feel if Zenkai's came out? This Gohan's super powerful, right? The next Zenkai that comes out is just as powerful as this Gohan, but every single unit that comes out is as powerful as this Gohan, and they just really picked a plateau of power that they want units to be at. And Zenkai, more or less, because in every gacha game, there's that slow power creep, and if you're playing the game banner to banner to banner, you don't really feel it as much. But you look back at last year, and wow, I'm not using those units anymore. Those teams aren't even used anymore. That kind of stuff happens, right? What if when the Zenkai came out, they didn't try to make it better? They literally just put it at the new power level of the latest units, but the big advantage to Zenkai was obviously the Zenkai ability, which is shared amongst the team, and then the level 10 card arts. I feel like if you play Pokemon, the stats in Pokemon are there's ceilings, right? There's not really too many exceptions to that rule. They don't really try to power creep it, and it works. And I feel like they could take a page from that and just have a general threshold that all the units should be falling under, and Zenkai are not exceptions, even when they're hyped Zenkais or whatever. They don't break that rule. There's no reason for Zenkai to just be inherently better. It should just be a new unit, air quotes new, but they just kind of redesign an old unit to put it at today's standards. And if I can spend 7,000 Chrono Crystals to guarantee a competitive unit that keeps up with this Bojack and Gohan, but doesn't just wash them, I think that's a fair system.
Yeah,
well, that's the
I
problem
agree.
is they try to monetize the Zenkai system, right? If you try and monetize the Zenkai system, it's either going to be everybody Zenkaiing everything and not summoning for new units, or everybody summoning for new units and not Zenkaiing anything. So there's no real way reliably to find that middle ground, which is why I don't know how to really fix this. Because if they continue making these units so ridiculously powerful at 2 and 3 stars, why would you ever Zenkai a unit other than to just get the Zenkai ability, right? I mean, that's really the only value I can see. Like, if every unit was purple Caulifla level, would you summon for Zenkais? The answer is probably no for most players. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I will say this purple Gohan is probably one of the first LF units that we've seen that comes out and they can compete he can compete competitively at 2 to 3 stars, and you don't see that very often. So I do like that. It's the fact that, people can summon, get literally one copy of Gohan and hop into PvP and still do pretty damn well. So I do like that, but yeah, it's gonna be hard to balance it, man.
Well, I do. It's funny because we always joke about Legends players never knowing what they want, but it really felt good that I pulled one copy of this Gohan and I put him on my team. And aside of being, a little bit squishy, he is destroying. And it felt rewarding to summon a 2-star unit. There are so many people that are experiencing exactly what I'm talking about right now. Like, how many times do you see somebody posting about their LF Rose, right? They pulled him, he gets obliterated, doesn't quite, annoy his opponents, doesn't do anything. He didn't feel rewarding. Everybody said mid, tier 2, tier 3, don't even tier him, just throw him in the trash, right? And this Gohan has a different example. We got hype in the community. I'm seeing people blowing up Twitch, Twitter, all this stuff. Really excited for this unit, love or hate him. I feel like this was a positive thing. Like, I still don't know where I fall, but I feel like this was a good move.
I agree, but you have to think of it from their perspective too, where it's like, I think this is the way it should be, but because the fact that they're monetizing the Zenkai system, who is now going to pay for Zenkais if they're going to be, mediocre to bad?
I don't know. Like, I think that the real answer here is that Zenkai and 14-star was the biggest mistake they ever made in this game, and they need to find a way to just normalize it to the point where it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I agree. But they won't.
Right, 14-star makes it to where you now have to summon for 7-star plus in order to really feel competitive with any unit that comes out today, which is why this Gohan felt so amazing, is that out of the box, a 2 to 4-star is just taking heads. I can't imagine how Gresh is feeling right now. And so, yes, there are going to be like 5 Goreshes, and you're not going to see them on the ladder. And when you do, you take that screenshot. So I really don't care that there are going to be some whales that will, pay to win or whatever the crap you want to say. Because the reality is, you're not going to see them. Every other player is like you and me, and we're all struggling to get a couple copies of Gohan. And this is much, much, much preferable than boring Zenkais every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's so weird. There was so many 14-star LF Super Saiyan 4 Gokus running around. But I haven't seen a lot of Gojitas and Gohans and Zamasus, huh? Weird how that works.
People just really like Goku, man.
Yeah, he was really good too. So.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's pretty much about it that we want to talk about today. We're gonna take a quick break, then we'll be back with questions. And as always, if you want your questions in the podcast, make sure to keep an eye out on our Twitter or our public Discord server, and post under the public questions thread. So we may pick your question. We'll be back in 3 minutes. All right, guys. I was just kidding. The break is not extended, but we are back now with the questions. And again, keep your eye out on Twitter for our questions thread. And the first question is coming from Magnus, and he's asking, do you guys think Legends Limited Ultra units are going to be a thing in the future?
Basically, summonable ultras, right? The answer is yes. Oh, yeah.
Well, summonable ultras, yeah, but not. I don't think they're going to combine them.
What rate would they have?
No.
Like 0.01%?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Really, what he's just asking is if they're going to be summonable, right? Like, that's just what he means with that.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll have the Legends Limited designation. I think they'll just be their own thing.
Yeah, they'll be their own thing so that they can have lower rates. Oh, yeah.
It'll be like Dokkan Fest and LRs. It's gonna be different things.
Ultras will be the 0.25 again. That's what that's gonna be.
I don't. Maybe we'll see. They better not be.
I hope not either. Because as it is right now, I honestly kind of think of the Ultra units. They're already so special enough to me that they almost do feel like the amount of work put into their animations alone almost make them feel like Legends Limited units to me. So I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about a Legends Limited Ultra unit.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy. I will say if they do eventually have summonable Ultra units, I just hope to God that it's like there's no like, you know, any sort of like grind that comes with that. Like you should be able to summon them, pull them, and immediately be able to soul boost them. There shouldn't be any type of like soul boosting grind. But yeah, I don't know what their rates would be though. If they were summonable Ultra units, they probably would be like 0.5 or I don't know. They could go 0.25, but I hope not.
I don't think they'll be lower than Legends Limited. I think they'll be the same rate.
Okay.
Hope so. All right, I guess that pretty much covers this question, so we can move on to the next one that's coming from Luigi Q. What do y'all think the direction they're going with Ultra units? Despite the reused animation, I think overall I like where they're going with them character-wise and animation-wise. I do feel they could do a bit better with animation quality, though.
I'm very disappointed with the choice they did with the Vegeta, but other than that, I think he's fine.
As in which arc or the character himself?
Yeah, versus Kui. Yeah, anniversary. Yeah, Vegeta versus Kui seems good. Yep.
What? I don't. What do you mean? What's wrong with that?
Isn't it iconic moment?
Yeah, iconic, man.
Honestly,
I mean, personally, I thought Vegeta against Android 19, his first time going Super Saiyan Big Bang, that would have
been cool.
But wait.
That was yeah.
Truth, get out your tinfoil hats, but iconic rhymes with pyconic. That's it.
Oh!
Super PyCon. I like it. I like where your head's at. There we go. They're gonna drop Super PyCon and he's gonna be green. Right?
Ultra PyCon.
The one thing I really don't get with this Vegeta's release is this Vegeta like needs Frieza Saga units to run with to be good with his Ultra ability, and yet they release BoJack movie units. Okay,
Yeah,
seems good.
Yeah,
you know.
it just doesn't really match up.
Maybe.
And I agree, dirty fireworks for Vegeta. It's like, is that really a hype enough character for Ultra? I mean, I think he's a cool unit. Don't get me wrong. I think he's very cool. I think he's actually somewhat viable. I just think, kind of like some of the other guys have already said, there's better options for a hype character than dirty fireworks Vegeta. But I mean, overall, I think he is cool.
I mean, Saiyan Saga Vegeta, his intro is him coming out of the pod. His ultimate is going into Great Ape and doing the mouth blast. Like, that's... Hello.
Yeah, the only thing I can
Way better
imagine...
than this one.
The only thing I can imagine why they're releasing him but then release BoJack units is because probably most people won't be able to soul boost him, like, for a bit. And maybe there will be, like, a Frieza Saga banner coming up sometime in the near future to just kind of flesh out that team a little bit more. That's a guess.
Yeah, when he's not hype anymore.
Exactly.
Yep.
So in like 2 days. Actually, tomorrow.
Well, as long as they don't take my CC from PvP, that's not happening, right? They're not gonna replace, or not the CC, but the other stuff, right? The multi-Z power, they're not gonna replace it in PvP, are they? Or
I'm not sure. It might go back to the same thing that Ultra Goku was, where you get the extra Z power per season, but I'm not sure.
I honestly wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah, I get that.
But I do agree with this guy where he says, I feel they could do better with the animation. So, like, isn't it true the Dirty Fireworks Vegeta, he has, like, a lot of the same animations as Ultra Goku, right?
Yeah, dude. The charging animation is the same. The clash animation is the same. The blast animation is the same. The tap attack animation is the same. It's literally a copy and pasted unit.
See,
There's no way you can convince me that this unit took 3+ months to design when they already had the entire unit created with Ultra Goku.
Dude, yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I was going to say, since these Ultra units are so, like, we have to wait such a long time for each one, you would think, like, the animations would be unique for each character. So I guess going forward, future Ultra units, I agree, I do want to see better animations, or more so just unique animations. Like, for that specific character, they should have their own animations, but...
Yeah. 100% I agree.
The only thing I can imagine is why they waited, to release him that long, and they may have had him finished already, is just to not set expectations to you're gonna get one every month, because there will be people like, hey, but the Vegeta released a month after the Goku just because they had him ready. Why are we having to wait 3 months and more to get the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much.
I mean, I will say with the amount of resources it takes to grind, like I'm okay with that, I guess. But I definitely agree. Like I do agree more. Like some more unique animations would be better.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to the next question. And that question is coming from Mugiwara, asking, do you think it was a bad idea of the devs to release the best Legends Limited unit, arguable one of the best, if not the best unit in the game, as the Part 2 headliner of the anniversary? Why would anybody summon on the Part 1 banner in an upcoming anniversary if the Part 2 one is the better one now?
Yeah, this is kind of what I brought up earlier. It's like it's kind of a slimy thing to get everybody to summon on Part 1 and then just surprise us with Part 2, but I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, this is what my advice would be. If you want to be as smart as possible with your crystal, just don't summon for a little bit. Wait and see what Part 2 is, because these banners are still up for Part 1, and then once you know what Part 2 is, then you go and decide which banner you want to summon on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Only
you know what
problem
they're.
is, yeah, I was gonna say, only problem is you're gonna have to have a lot of willpower to not summon for that long on the first part.
Yeah.
Because the strategy they employed here was spend money. You've used all your savings, everything. Oh, here's Gohan. Spend money, get him. Right? Like that's
Right.
At
That's
the
what
end of the
Toshi said,
day-
right? I
Yeah.
just spend them how I get them.
I mean, that's what it was. It was just a money grab, basically.
At the end of the day, these games are here to make money, right? Like you have to outsmart them. You can't be baited in with every little thing. That's why you got to be very particular on how you summon, right? I think for Legends specifically, if you're free to play, you really have to just focus on a tag and not get caught up in the hype and everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the
100%.
problem is this game is so bad at like creating a diverse meta, because they always focus on like one tag for like 2 months, and then they just like hyper like buff that one tag, and then they just ignore everything else. So if you get unlucky and you pick a tag that's like LOE, you're like, okay, I'm gonna focus on LOE. Imagine if you decided to focus on LOE like last year, like you'd be screwed right now.
No, they got
Yeah.
dude, they got the red metal cooler Zenkai. What the hell are you talking
And
And
Yellow
the yellow.
Frieza.
And the yellow.
Yellow
about?
Frieza was
Yeah,
amazing.
2 Zenkais, dude. Wow, they were
You-
almost back to back.
You would be in such a bad spot right now if you chose to focus on LOE, and that you could say the same thing about GT for like the past year, up until this anniversary when they actually finally decided to buff GT. So they go on these sprees of buffing tags, and you can never really be sure when your tag is going to get buffed, which is the only bad part about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it definitely is hard to hold on to your crystal and stuff like that. In that case, I have to go ahead and name drop ZVG. ZVG went pretty hard, like chasing after corrupted Zamasu. Like he used like a majority of all his free-to-play crystals. And then when the Gohan dropped, he was only able to go ahead and spend 1.5 thousand crystals on the Gohan banner. And he just, I know that he felt betrayed. I know he felt betrayed, and I felt hurt for him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like I said, we're all hyped for the Part 1. We all want these new characters, and especially I know ZVG runs God Key sometimes. So as a God Key main, you need that red unit, and then boom, here's Part 2. Surprise, surprise, and nobody has CC. So yeah, I feel that pain for sure. I mean, definitely.
I think
Yeah.
the smartest decision you can make as a free-to-play player is you focus on one of the big tags, like God Key, Future,
Regen, please.
Regen. Yeah, like those are the tags that are constantly getting buffed over and over and over again. Those are the tags you want to focus on, not something like GT or LOE and even androids. Honestly, I would probably argue is a tag you probably don't want to focus on, because there's only so many androids they can release in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you should do.
All right. I think we got time for one more question. So let's see what it is. It's from LOL, Japanese science enthusiast. Do you think the Zenkai meta will end if they continue to release LFs that are just as strong as this new Gohan? I guess we touched on it a little bit, but what do you think?
Yes,
No.
I truly do. Or
My answer is no. The reason why my answer is no is because they monetize Zenkai, so they're going to eventually find a way to incentivize people to summon for Zenkais no matter what, if they're going to keep monetizing it.
So you're saying they're
Yeah.
just going to release
Yeah.
units that are as strong as Gohan, but then they're going to release Zenkais that are
Yes.
stronger than Gohan?
Yes, my answer is yes.
And unfortunately, that does seem to be like the cycle. And in a perfect world, in my own head, I would like to believe that these LFs would slowly but surely start like outshining these Zenkais. And as you guys do know, like the Zenkais that have been getting put out, like they'll sprinkle in those like really like quote unquote balanced Zenkais, or the Zenkais that you guys definitely don't think are that great. Like I don't think this Kid Goku Zenkai is that great. I don't think that Caulifla Zenkai that we recently got, or I don't know how recently we got her, but I don't think she was that great. And so if they kept just putting out Zenkais like that, then I could 100% see like these LFs taking over and just being like the absolute staple, where that's the pinnacle of power that you're going to get from Dragon Ball Legends. That's what they're going to want you to summon on. But it's just how Goresh said, they're going to want to monetize it. Eventually we're going to come back, and it's going to be an endless cycle of them just eventually putting out an Android 18 like Zenkai, right? Some sort of power creep in terms of Zenkai. I don't know. It sucks, but that's definitely does seem like the direction where the game is at right now.
I'd much rather the new units, the new Sparkings, be the best units, because that makes more for a more fun game. Like, who wants to watch Red Gohan just be the best unit for like 4 years straight? Nobody wants to see that.
Exactly.
So whenever you have like a new fresh unit as the best unit, that like you're constantly getting like quote unquote new best units, as long as they don't make power creep like out of hand to where like new units are outdated after like 2 months, then I'm definitely all for that. But there's gonna be a time eventually where, because they're monetizing Zenkai, like they're not gonna want to eventually just like stop making money from that revenue stream that they have. So they're gonna incentivize people in some way to summon for Zenkai still, unless they stop monetizing Zenkai, which I feel like is what they should have done a long time ago, but they just haven't. So
yeah, that'd be the ultimate end all to it, 100%.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just like make sure every Zenkai's in the rush shop or something like that.
That would be so amazing. I'd be so extremely ecstatic.
My solution to this problem is to just Zenkai every unit on release and make it free and make it very easy to soul boost them, and just make it make you actually have to play the game a little bit, not a crazy amount, to get it all done, so that these units aren't being completely overshadowed the second they release by a unit that's 3 years old, right?
Yep.
Alrighty. I would say that's it for today. But before we go, first off, we have a new video out on the YouTubes, which is the fan-made Zenkai Super Vegito. People have been speculating for him to come out, so make sure to go over on YouTube, check that out. And while you're on YouTube, don't forget we have the League and Stuff Season 2 going on. And this time it's all for charity. So that means every single comment and every single like will add 1 cent to the pool. And the winner gets to choose the charity. Everybody already chose a charity. And whoever wins gets to donate all that money in their name to the charity of their choosing. So make sure to go over on the YouTube and check that out. With that said, this podcast will go live as usual 24 hours from now on YouTube. And we will be back next week with episode 40. Man, time flies. This podcast is growing up so fast. And yeah, that is Truth, Azteek, Swift, Goresh, a prof that had to leave a little bit earlier, and Palm signing off. And we hope you have a great week. We'll see you guys soon. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.
Peace.
Later.